right, let's dive right in. We know what it is. Game day, a pivotal Game 4 in Indy where the Pacers will look to take a commanding 3-1 lead. SGA and the Thunder are striving to even the series. That's tonight again on ABC. The Thunder might be down 2-1, but they find themselves in a comfortable spot. In 19 games following a loss this season, the Thunder are 17-2 with a point differential of plus 14.5, which is third best in a single season all time. Here's what I need to know from you, Stephen A.
Yeah.
Will the winner of Game 4 win this series?
Yes.
And win the finals?
I really believe that. I think tonight's winner will win the series. I think if the Indiana Pacers win tonight, there's no way on earth that we're going to look at the Oklahoma City Thunder and think that they can beat this team 3 straight. Based off of what we've seen, fellas, that's what I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at an Indiana Pacers team that's shocking the world. Tyrese Halliburton came out, played really, really well the other night. Give him props. Pascal Siakam set the tone with his aggression. Ben Mathurin coming off the bench and what he's been able to do, dropping 27, reminding everybody he's not a bench player. He's a guy that started 49 games. He's a guy that was the third leading scorer on this team. I'm looking at him. TJ McConnell, the little engine that could, constantly being a professional pest, 3 steals, getting in everybody's face, dictating pace, constantly trying to push downhill and attack. And then, guys, I saw SGA look tired. That really stood out in my mind. And I'm going to tell you what's going on right now. And UD, tell me if I'm wrong. We're watching, you too, Joey, we're watching Rick Carlisle, a championship coach, prove what he's all about. Not only do they push the ball after made baskets, but what I noticed, they went small. When you take a guy like Miles Turner, who's struggling defending in pick and roll situations, to be kind, right? And you put Pascal Siakam at the 5. Okay, you've got Nesmith, Nembhard, and obviously Mathurin. You've got cats like this coming at you and pushing the pace and being in attack mode. Oklahoma City's defense suddenly doesn't look as formidable as we thought they would. And that is what I did not expect to see. So I'm of the mindset, Indiana wins this game, there's no way in hell they're losing 3 straight. But if they lose these games, if they lose this Game 4, after what we saw happen with OKC the other night, that's going to be a bad sign for Indiana if you can't win tonight and Oklahoma City comes out and they win tonight. I think the winner of tonight's game wins this series.
UD?
I'm going to somewhat agree with you. With you on that. I think the winner of tonight's games, somewhat, dog, somewhat. I'm going to give you a little bit now. If it's Indiana, I say definitely yes. Nobody comes back from down 3-1. Only team we seen do that was the Cavs in 2016 with Bron. They came back down 3-1 against the Warriors. Now, if OKC is able to tie this thing, 2-2, I give them a chance because defense wins championships. This has been a historical defensive team. What they have not done in this series is their identity has not shown for a 48-minute game. You look at that last game, and they gave up 32 points in the fourth quarter. They gave up 40 points in the second quarter. That is not their identity. They gave up more steals. Indiana had more steals than them. Indiana had more blocks than them. Indiana was the more active team on both sides of the basketball, so they cannot win this series like that. But defense wins championships. If they get back to their identity, they do have a chance to win this series. But Stephen A., I'm gonna tell you, I was the only person in ESPN that picked them to win in 7. Ain't nobody even gave them a chance.
Okay. You and Mark, I think, was it Marcus or Markeith? Which one picked the Pacers? It was you and one of them.
Canty had the Pacers.
Marcus.
Okay.
It was Marcus.
Got it. Marcus, and Canty.
But UD, I'll let you wear that crown for today. You're the only one at the worldwide leader, okay? You own it.
I am not going to.
I know I love them underdogs.
Not going to be able to properly evaluate my basketball without clearing my mind and addressing the fact that no one said it was Pajamas Friday. I didn't get the heads up on Pajamas Friday. Neither did UD.
You know what, man? I've been traveling so much, I don't know what the hell I was going to wear. I've been traveling so much. I'm so damn tired, man, I can't even put into words. But I'm here.
All right, you're here.
In my pajamas.
You're ready.
In my pajamas.
And you're on point.
That's
because
right.
I agree. Winner of tonight wins the series. It's very simple. OKC falls down 3-1, as great as they've been. You're not coming back because you need too much that's outside of your control to break your way. 3 consecutive games in which, A, you cannot allow Indiana to go off offensively, kind of like they did in Game 3. But on top of that, you can't have an offensive performance where you just go ice cold. We see this. We saw it with the Celtics in the first 2 games against the Knicks. There are no guarantees that you can stay at least 2 average for 3 straight games while the opponent remains at average or below. And even if you get that performance, You're telling me Halliburton and the Pacers don't steal one from you at the end of the game like they did in game one, like they've been doing all postseason to everyone they face? So for OKC, it's a death wish. You're out of this thing if you lose tonight. On the other side of the equation, you win in Indiana, you bring stability to the series, you go back to OKC where you've been phenomenal all year, you handle your business and go up 3-2, and then you put the ball back in Indiana's court and say, you got to figure out how to beat us 2 in a row, and I don't see that happening. OKC, though, all the pressure on them today. Not even close, not hyperbole. Bad situation as a young team if they're going to try to have to win 3 straight against a team that doesn't lose back-to-back games.
It's not even that they're down 2-1. It's how they're down 2-1. This is supposed to be an elite defense. We got cats like Big Perk talking about this is the best defense we've seen in decades. Don't look like it these finals. Don't look like it at all. Indiana is scoring on these brothers. They're scoring over 50 points in second halves in this series thus far. I mean, one game they had 66 points in the second half. That kind of stuff doesn't happen to OKC. It hasn't happened all year, but it's happening in these NBA finals. And then I'm looking at them offensively. Jalen Williams might have had some points, but his efficiency wasn't there. Lou Dort, okay, he's going to spot up and hit threes. But if they chase out after him and they force him to move, he's going to either launch a set three or he's going to pass the ball. He is no threat driving to the lane whatsoever. Wiggins shows up off the bench in game 2. He's a virtual no-show in game 3. Holmgren starts off strong, but then he fades as the game wanes. You're looking at Indiana, and it's not just that they're scoring. They're figuring OKC out while tiring them out. We saw Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on the floor about 3 times, and boy, did he take his time getting up. He wasn't hurt. He was using that to rest because he was fatigued. Somebody for OKC has to step up and say, we can't leave this up to SGA against these boys. Our brother needs help. And if they don't do it, they're going to lose.
All right, let me ask
one
you.
thing to say.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
To your point, Stephen A., the one guy that can step up and help them is Chet Holmgren. And I know from having a big 3, you can get through a series without your third guy, but you cannot win the championship without your third guy. Our third guy was Chris Bosh. We always knew that we could win a series without Chris Bosh. We could win a game without Chris Bosh. But the one guy that could turn this series around is Chet Holmgren. And I agree with you, Stephen A. He got off to a great start. 13 points in the first quarter, then faded away. Nothing. We got 6 points the rest of the game, 0 from 6 from 3. He is a guy who can get it going from the outside and the inside. Miles Turner has struggled against that pick and roll. But when you get that flare back, you got to make a couple of those threes, because if you make a couple of those threes, that opens things up for SGA. And to your point, Rick Carlisle, the reason why SGA is tired because Rick Carlisle is putting him in every action on the other end. He is going through double pick and rolls. He is going through triple pick and rolls. And then if he gets matched up on Pascal Siakam, he's getting beat up in the paint. Sometimes when you got a great offensive player, your best defense is to put him in action offensively.
Indiana's got a little bit of that Muhammad Ali rope-a-dope. They're just wearing OKC down. They've weaponized their cardio to a point where OKC, you saw it like you said in the second half, generally the larger the sample, the more games, the heavy favorites should be at an advantage there. But the way Indiana is wearing them down as the series goes on, especially with a quick 48-hour turnaround, you got to wonder what they look like tonight with those legs in the second half.
All right, Stephen A., we heard Chet Holmgren mentioned by UD. How does OKC win tonight?
Well, SGA has to shoot better than 35% when he's being guarded by Nembhard. Let's start there first, because you're throwing bodies at him, and it's showing that it's wearing him down to some degree. He's got to overcome that. You know, Jalen Williams, I keep bringing his name up, and this is the reason I keep bringing his name up, fellas. Only 2 players in the NBA made an All-NBA team and an All-NBA defensive team. It was him, and it was Evan Mobley. You got to show up, man. You got to show up. And listen, you can't have a situation where you are a top-rated defense, but you're getting exposed, but you provide no exposure to Indiana's offense. Excuse me, you got a collective defense that can neutralize most opponents. What's your problem with these guys? We saw Caruso guarding Siakam in game 2 and being effective. We saw SGA and Jalen Williams guarding. We saw Chet Holmgren and Hartenstein make their defensive presence felt. No matter where you look for Oklahoma City, you saw a collective defensive effort that stymied Indiana. What's the problem now? You can't let that get, I mean, you got to hang your hat on that if you're going to win the championship. And that's how I'm looking at OKC. Throw their own medicine at them. You know, if you can't push the ball up the floor, lock them down. Do something to disrupt what makes them happy. What is their strength? Their strength is scoring the damn ball. Shut them down. You got an elite defense, right? Act like it and do that. Because if you're not flowing offensively, but then they are, you have no chance. No chance.
Shams Charania is reporting that things are heating up as KD's business partner, Rich Kleinman, and the Suns try to find Durant's next team. Well, we chopped it up with Magic Johnson yesterday on a myriad of NBA subjects. Listen in on what he had to say about KD and the Knicks.
Kevin Durant is a piece that can actually get you over to win a championship. Mm-hmm. I like him if he could come here to New York for the Knicks. Brunson needs help, and he needs help in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
See, he gonna get you there, but then Indiana loaded up against him, and everybody else couldn't deliver. Mm-hmm. So they need a guy like Kevin Durant who could say, okay, Brunson, you get us there, but I'm gonna take us home. It reminds me of Shaq and Kobe.
UD, I'm looking at you. Would KD to the Knicks with Jalen Brunson make them the favorites in the Eastern Conference?
No, sir. No, sir. And I love Magic, and I got all the respect for Magic, and he's one of the greatest to ever play the game. But I'm not going to overlook the Orlando Magic, who's been one player away for the last couple of years. I'm not going to look the Cleveland Cavaliers, who were the number one team in the East all year. I'm not going to overlook the Detroit Pistons, who had Cade Cunningham and who are on the rise right now. This ain't even about the Knicks, who don't even have a coach, first and foremost. This is about the other teams in the East who are rising and coming up. So I'm not going to overlook those teams. And another thing, we love KD, but we've seen him be a part of two big threes already that have not worked. There's no guarantee that he's going to go to New York and that big three of him, and if they keep Cat, and Brunson, there's no guarantee that's going to work. So I'm not just going to automatically give them that. What I will agree with Magic is KD is a guy who can get you over the hump. KD is a guy who can win the championship for you. KD is a guy who can take some pressure off your star player in the fourth quarter. But I'm not going to give him that right away. Hell no.
Very smart.
I got news for you, UD. I agree with you. I agree with you, and this is about my
New York really?
We talk about it. You're absolutely right. I mean, listen, he's not a downgrade. KD is an upgrade wherever he goes. We know what he brings to the table, and Magic is certainly right that Jalen Brunson definitely needs him. Listen, I don't like the fact that on a person that doesn't play above the rim, that's 6'1", is your star player. And when you think about the bigger teams in the NBA that you're going to have to play playoff time, you're not at an advantage in that situation. The Indiana Pacers showed that. Okay, so of course Jalen Brunson needs help, but I'm looking at the Detroit Pistons. They didn't have Ivy, they didn't have Stewart against the Knicks in that first round series. I'm looking at Cleveland. How many teams gonna win 64 plus games or whatever in the regular season and then blow it like that come postseason? I think that they'll be better next year. Indiana is already here. We can't summarily dismiss that. So I wouldn't put the Knicks as a favorite. But here's the point. You're already in the conference finals, so you're already a title contender. I certainly don't think that KD takes away from that for you. I think he's an additive, not a subtraction. So I would still support it if you could get him without having to give up your entire damn team to do it, because he turns 37 in September. But listen, I'm not going to go as far as to say they're the favorites to win the East. No, I wouldn't do that.
It's not even close. He's not a free agent. You don't get to just sign him and bring him in. You are giving away assets, and Phoenix is not going to take nickels on the dollar. They might take quarters, but they're not taking nickels, especially when San Antonio and Houston are out there with much better packages. All right? Vision without action is a dream. Action without vision is a nightmare. This is important because the Knicks are acting, but they don't have a vision. What is the plan? Championship contenders have a plan. They have an organized plan. Sometimes it's a 3-year plan, sometimes it's a 5-year plan. The Knicks got to the Eastern Conference Finals. It was an extremely impressive run. And then they fired their head coach. Now, if that's the right decision, fine. But they've made it clear they had no idea what they were going to do afterwards. And that's the troubling thing. Because when you're going to run up against Indiana, or whoever else we want to lay out. I think quietly, if Philadelphia stays healthy, they could be dangerous.
Really?
They stay healthy.
Well, we
it's
know
a
they
weak
can't.
Eastern
Where,
Conference.
excuse me, where are you
It's a
from
weak
again?
Eastern Conference.
I'm just wondering where you're
That
from
is-
again,
I'm
because
not-
no one is thinking about Philly right now.
I am not on trial here, and where I am from is not what matters.
Philly.
I appreciate
Are
the
you an
question.
Eagles fan?
Super Bowl champs. I mean, who's not a fan of the Super
Got
Bowl
it.
champs? But
Exactly.
back to the issue.
We done
at hand.
trusting the process.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think that's probably fair.
Thank
I
the
think-
good
we
Lord
done
for
tried
that.
The
process.
first person
think-
to bring Philly in the mix.
I think we all agree with that. But that's the problem for the Knicks as we get serious again. They have no vision right now. There is no vision. And that is you are not winning championships. You are not the favorite in the conference. I don't care how weak it is. If you don't have a vision, they don't even know where they want to go with this coaching search. So great. Here comes KD. Great. KD can make you better. You're going to lose assets. Can he stay healthy? Can he stay happy? All concerns. If he stays healthy, if he stays happy, you're good. But we have no idea who your coach is. We have no idea what your plan is.
No argument here. Zero.
Sometimes you just got to wing it.